Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is currently May 13th, 2010, and this is Day 9 Daily number 116, and there's a little game you can play at home while we're doing this stream. It's called Where Did Sean Cut Himself Shaving? And the best part about this game is that there are just so many ways to win, because something was screwed up with my razor, and it was like I just had a bear claw shave my face, so I'm in a little bit of pain today, but you know what? I made it. Bam! And I've driven so many people to the airport and helped so many people move about. I am such a loyal and noble individual. And the last one will be tomorrow. So I will have no friends, none of that stupid BS to get in the way of only playing Starcraft all day long. So whew, thank God for summer, right? In exciting news, Blizzard decided to patch the game in a way that directly affects my daily tonight. So clearly that's not a lot of foresight by them there. I don't really appreciate that in any regard. But I'm gonna hold off on a little bit of the patch discussion, namely the roach doubling the amount of food it requires is gonna, hurt some people's whole faces who play Zerg. But you know what? No big deal. It's kind of funny because for so long I resisted that urge to make roaches. Because everyone made roaches. Everyone's like, roaches are imbalanced. Oh, what a terrible unit. So I focused on Zerglings, Hydras, Mutas, and Banelings. Literally tried to be as not roach-centric as I possibly could. And now that that's happened, suddenly my Zerg vs. Zerg's good. Haven't played a single Zerg vs. Zerg, but it's good now. Isn't that cool? Because you know what? I'll be making Zerglings. Yes, yes indeed. One thing that does bum me out about the patch change, I'll say this now. I'm sure the patch change will be discussed in one of the podcasts I do coming up soon. But, It just irks me a little bit when I read the motivations for the changes. Because a lot of times I'll read those changes and I'll be like, man, you know what? That's a very well thought out, crisp change. Like the neuroparasite change. Ooh, that was clever. Making it researchable, and you have to have 100 energy. Great, because then Thor drops, which used to be completely shut down. Actually, Thors of any variety used to be completely shut down. Great. This neuroparasite change will help that quite a bit. Then you read the documentation, it's like, whoa, neuroparasiting ultras, imbalanced, broken. And I'm like, who makes ultras in Zerg vs. Zerg, So I'm a little concerned about that sort of stuff. But, overall, I'm fine with the changes in this patch, with the one exception of the daily that we're going to be doing today, which is a game that I played recently as I accidentally scrolled to the bottom of the screen. This is a game I played on the ladder. This is my opponent, Raven. And this is me spawning as Zerg down here. Now, I just want to state that for the record, just to give a little bit of context, right before this game was going to happen, I was literally going, no Zerg, no Zerg, no Zerg, because the map was Incineration Zone. And, people sometimes criticize me for doing this, but I am going to do it. Let's follow along the path. See me walking here. Here's exit down my ramp, and I'm at his natural and in his base. Did you see how far that walk distance was? Not far at all, as a matter of fact. So this is something that has been increasingly bugging me. So I was like, not Zerg, not Zerg, not Zerg. So I said, hey, I'm Zerg, therefore, it's just like, it just like hurts my face, the fact that I'm Zerg on this map. And of course, it's going to hurt even more now that roaches are not a good unit. So as you may or may not know, my Terran and my Protoss are overwhelmingly better than my Zerg play. So my Zerg matchups are not good, so you hear me say, I find this map so hard in Zerg vs. Terran. And look at me using an exclamation point there, like I'm friends with him. And this man has yet to even respond. He's probably like, who is this newbie? Constantly talking. He's not my friend. He's just 20 easy points. But so right now I have to formulate a strategy. I have strategies and techniques that I'm going to be using against Terran players, but not on this map. For the most part, the maps in StarCraft 2, whether I'm spawning Zerg or not, have some basic general structures to them. Kulos, Ravine, and Lost Temple both have a natural with a cliff. Kulos is a little more open. Temple's a little more closed. The distances between the bases aren't anything incredibly short like this, by any means. So you can kind of have strategies that translate, not exactly mirror, but translate from map to map. But on this map, I had to think of a strategy fast to deal with the fact that a Terran player was right next to me and can push me, and I don't have a lot of expanding options. So what I decided to do is to use that build I was discussing that Dihilda did on this map. Now, for any of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I reviewed a bunch of Dihilda's Zerg vs. Zerg games. And the basic theme of that strategy was to go for a bunch of roaches early on, but to double gas kind of fast because the roaches were just there to keep you alive until you got mutalisks, and that would get you into the mid game. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get mutalisks. I'm going to get some roaches right at the start, but here you see me gassing super, super early. And then I'm going to expand twice, once here and once to this right side of the map. Now, notice that first thing I did was note a disadvantage of the map, the fact that there are close starting positions here. But also, I noticed an advantage, the fact that there is one expo here, but look, there is like a triple choke here to your main, your natural, and to this base over here. So, I have a relatively easy time getting to 3 bases. The only map that I can think of that's similar in that regard would be something like Steppes of War or, say, Kulas Ravine. But of course, those maps have a giant rock right here in the way. Not so on this map, so I do have a lot more freedom to expand. And one thing I wanted to note, especially important about this game, for any of you who were helping me with my video stress test that I was doing the other day, which is part of the reason why this stream is actually smooth today, at least for 90% of you who are connected to good servers. I did review this game, and I was just opening up this game during that stress test because it was a long game. You'll notice it's 30 minutes in the replay bar. It was a long game, so I figured, you know, why not just open this up so I can have a long time to check. But it was an extraordinarily valuable lesson for me in something that I say a lot, but do a lot less often than I should, which is to review all of your own replays, to review 100% of the games that you lose, because you're going to see me draw a conclusion at the end that was a completely reasonable conclusion, absolutely nothing wrong about it, but there was a whole lot that I didn't think about. So here I am getting my queen up, I'm getting a roach warren up pretty fast. I think it's actually a little bit early, but I was just doing it because, again, I had never done this build against Terran, and I was just going to formulate a build and run with it. So this is the build I was running with. He is opening up with some Reapers, he's getting some more barracks up. Here I have some Zerglings, going to bring a little pain on you. Yeah, that's what I thought, SCV. Yeah, try to run. Run, little SCV. Yeah, he has nowhere to go. He's dead as shit. Yeah, got him. I like to take my little victories where I can. And right when my queen spawns, I should be layering now. Looks like I'm not, because apparently I'm a lot worse than I claimed to be at the start of the game. But apparently treating my Roach Warren as layer tech, I should be layering soon. Do I really wait this long to layer? Okay, God. I was watching this, I was like, is this replay bugged? Alright, well, clearly don't wait as long to layer as I should. Now that I think of it, kind of searching back in my head for what my mental state was in this game, I guess at this point I was like, that's right, okay, and now I'm going to be doing that Die Hilda style Roach into Mutalisk, because I was still trying to think of a good way to end up playing on this map. And I was trying to make a whole bunch of considerations, like how to deal with Reaper, this will help, what about early Marauder pushes? Well, I guess I need an extra Spine Crawler there, because these positions are so close, and you'll see me do that. I'm spreading out to deal with any sort of silly little Reaper action that comes in, but I've decided that I'm not going to be making any more Roaches this game, just going to be droning as I make a Spine Crawler here for defense. So, the point of this is less, hey, here is a build that I think is good, and more of something I winged at the time that I didn't want to think a lot about, but the fact that I made myself review this game in slow motion helped me realize a lot more about the style than I thought I did. So he is expanding, making a bunch of barracks. Looks, you know, pretty much like a typical style of Terran. Just doing a little bit of tech, getting his upgrades up. Does he have stim yet? No, he hasn't begun any of the upgrades, which makes sense because he's walled himself off with a barracks. Good stuff, good stuff. A lot of Terran players, especially the early expanding variety, have been favoring a lot of this sort of cute stuff, making barracks at the ramp. And because I'm awful, I completely forget to vomit my second set of larvae, so I have 50 energy at the start of the game. You know, don't be like me. Listen to what I say, not to what I do. So I'm getting my Spire up, so that's nifty. And you don't really need to save too much larva because, you know, I'm going to have about 500 gas when this thing pops, and with all these larvae popping off, I'll be in good shape. Hey, I remembered that larval vomit. Thank you very much. I would like everyone to give me a little bit of credit there, so that's fantastic. All right, nifty. So I'm making Mutalisk now. Now, at this point, I was just kind of like, oh yeah, I go to expand, forgetting that, of course, Mutalisks do take money, so I need 500, 500. So actually, you can't see it, but this drone's blushing quite heavily. Send him back, because I'm not that awful. And at this point in the game, I saw him expanding, and I was like, grumble. You know, I wasn't too pleased about it. We haven't been focusing on him too much, but you'll notice his energy's pretty low. He only just now has 50, so we can end up muling right here at his expansion now that it's up. He's making more units. He's getting, ooh, siege tanks. That's sort of an interesting choice. He's getting his upgrade. Yeah, look, he just muled. All right, fantastic. He hasn't transferred yet, but one thing to note that I absolutely never in a million years would have assumed. I am at 46 food as well. I'm keeping up with him in food. In the unit counting station, note that my army is not actually that small. I have 5 roaches and 5 mutalisks, which could hold off a decent push if I control my little spine crawler properly. And here is the expansion going down. And I'm able to do some... My harass is not nearly as good because there's, you know, no workers here to harass. So apparently I decide that I want to leave one alive because, again, these are not StarCraft 1 mutalisks. So I cannot quite get them to do what I want.